Okay, what's up? Hey, today I'm going to cover some cliche major licks. One? Yeah, let's do two. That's why I played in the intro. I tried to play the lick a few times, and whenever the camera's on, I always stumble around like a fool. But the basic idea is, in this case, we're in E flat major 7. And it's a really useful line. I first saw this from Joe Pass, and then when I went back and studied more of the horn players, like especially Cannonball Adderley, I started seeing this line, and from all the bebop guys. And so basically the idea is, when you encounter the major 7, so in E flat it's the B, it's just a chromatic line right down to the 5, and then it can be resolved just down the arpeggio G, E flat, or the Tetra chord G, F, the major 9 chord. Tetra chord's kind of a fancy word for the major 9 chord. Like in Giant Steps. Coltrane uses them like crazy, as well as everyone else. A lot of people. It's an easy way to make that's something we should go over. Giant Steps at another time. So this lick, I'll write this out in tab. The first thing will be that, and then the second octave, and then in a 2/5, like so. If we're in the key of E flat, the 2 would be F minor, the 5 would be B flat 7, and then we could I'll write that 2/5 lick out, and the 2 octaves of that line. And then the other line I snuck in there that it's worth showing, which is also a major 7 line, is when if say we're in E major, E flat major 7. I'm going to say E a lot, but it's E flat. We start from the major 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a really cool, melodically, it's like a really cool line. So we're starting on the major 3rd and then going up a B flat major. Another way to look at this would be, it's just a G minor 7, which if we're in the key of E flat, E major, the 3 chord is the, in jazz, the 3 chord and the 1 chord are very interchangeable. So we're sort of superimposing the G minor here. And then that's the G, B flat, D, F, back to the D, E flat, and here's the E flat arpeggio. E flat, G, B flat, or E flat major 7, I should say, because we go right up to the major 7, and my strings only last a couple weeks for some reason. These are silken steels. They're great strings, but once they get old, man, they don't not sound good. But when you first put them on, they're just amazing. They've really lost their yeah. And then the 2/5 lick, F minor, just an F minor, up the arpeggio, the scale, and then on the B flat, a chromatic lick, B flat to A flat, the bebop scale. When you pass on a dominant 7 chord, when you pass through the major 7, that's the bebop scale. So it's got to be on an upbeat though. There it is. But then I come up to the flat 9. This is a very common bebop lick. In this case, flat 9, sharp 9, down to the major 3rd of E flat. It's usually played like, either way, it's a flat 9 of B flat, B, sharp 9, C sharp, B flat. So it's just those two tensions. In this position, there's the B flat, A flat. The tensions, those two tensions fall nicely into the G. So, and then that led into the 2 cliche licks. So in the 2/5, I'll write that out. And that's about it. So that's today's cliche lick with a 2/5 in E flat major. Any questions? Also, I think I covered everything pretty much. As far as the E flat goes, oh, this lick, yeah, I'll write that out in tab. That's just a common line. Pat Martino plays a lot of stuff like that, where he takes one note and then keeps going back to it. Kind of a pivot lick. He does it more so in minor, so we're in E flat major. If we were in C minor, it would still work. In that sense. And so we, here I'm doing it in E flat major, so you could take it and do it in any key, dominant, minor 7, major. And now every time I come to the major 7, it's kind of hard not to do that line. There's another variation. We walk down to the B flat, then hit the A flat, which is like a target note, approach note to the G major 3rd. Hit the A flat, go down to the F, and walk up to the G. And then whatever, down to the E. Or chromatically down to the E flat. Or little Martino, just Martino up and down. Of course, he got that from other places too. I studied guitar players first: Joe Pass, Pat Martino, then Jimmy Bruno, who was my favorite, and then started going backwards into the horn players, starting with Parker, Sonny Stitt, Cannonball, and Oscar Peterson. I know I'm skipping a lot of guys. These are the guys who I heard and then was like, oh, I got to learn that. The real standout guys for me: Oscar Peterson, Art Tatum, of course, but that's a little pre-bebop. Who from the '60s? The '60s, Joe Pass started playing guitar. He had some really cool stuff, but Keith Jarrett. I'm trying to think of the name Keith Jarrett here. I had to say it because he's in that list of players. So I was just like, wow, there's some really nice stuff to study. Keith Jarrett, and then there's there's so many guys. I mean, these are just the ones that I particularly stuck out to me in the '80s. Then Bob Berg, and Bob Mintzer, and then Bergonzi for the modern guy, Bergonzi, and there's one more sax player who I study all the time, and Potter. My God, yeah, Chris Potter. Bergonzi and Potter are the two masters. So there's a lot of stuff by them that's worth going over. Bergonzi and Chris, they're both like as good as it gets, but sort of in their own way. They're sort of different too, so it's hard to say who's better. But Bergonzi is the man. He teaches at NEC, and a lot of jazz people I know, they everyone talks about Bergonzi, at least in the Boston area. And his solos are just incredible. I have, not a lot of them are transcribed, but the ones that I have found, the transcriptions are amazing. And he sticks to his bebop roots pretty much. I've learned a lot of actually classic bebop licks from Bergonzi. So we'll get into some of that stuff. Also, I should want to at some point do a Art Tatum video, which will kind of go into alternate picking, because a lot of those runs are Art Tatum-ish. But I need new strings first, because these strings are not sounding good. So, all right, cool. That's today's cliche lick and some history of really good jazz players. So, cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.